to you guys tonight. I can't help but get a little emotional. She is an absolutely amazing young woman, just so goal oriented in every part of her life, and such a great inspiration. She's been a great inspiration to me and has changed so many lives already with Juice Plus. And she does that because she's a person of character and integrity. And because of that, and she's built good relationships, people have listened to her. And just for a little bit of a training, Mandy came to me through a lead from the company, not a lead customer, a lead from the company. And I picked up the phone and called her to give her more information. And then I picked up the phone again to follow up with her and take her order, and then again to follow up with her. And it was in that third conversation that this all made sense to Mandy, and I offered her an opportunity, to think about joining the mission. And she decided she wanted to do that. And, she's going to share with you her incredible story of her son. And there's no more joy than I have than being able to watch this miracle that has happened with Tyson and his health journey, and to see their family get their life back, to see them not so worried about him. And there's why I do what I do, and why we all are on this mission together. And, I think the one thing that resonates with me with Mandy is that phrase that says, if you want something done, you give it to a busy person. And Mandy totally exemplifies this. She was working full-time as a teacher, going to get her master's degree as a counselor, 4 children, very busy, and started this Juice Plus business and fast-tracked to sales coordinator, summer surge, and is working on senior sales coordinator, and just continues. I watch as she continues to bring in customers and people into the mission, and just so proud of her journey, so proud of all the people that she's been changing their lives, and just, proud to be at her side and to be helping her with this as well. So take it over, Mandy.
Thank you, Cindy. That was very kind. And Cindy has been a huge instrumental part of all of this. So when she mentioned me doing something on one of these calls, I thought she was crazy. I'm like, really, it's everyone else doing all of this work, and I'm just kind of here as an instrument. So I put a lot of thought into it and ran it by Cindy to see if she thought it was okay. And so there were lots of ideas that I have that are really just hopefully little pieces that you can take maybe just one thing from this as a motivation of something that you can do. And it doesn't always have to relate just to Juice Plus, but things that you can add into your life. Because for me, this became something about getting just some of my health back and making sure that I was putting time in for myself to work out and to do things that made sense for me. So I do have a little screen share thing. I'm going to try this. I hope it works. So let me know. I think I click that one, share screen. Is that working?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Trying something new here. All right. So, all right. Can you see it still?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so basically my thought was acting on intention and what that would mean. Because for me, I can set goals and have ideas of things that I want to do, but sometimes I don't always follow through or act on them. And so really it comes down to having these small, simple actions, but you do them consistently and you'll see a lot of success from that. I gotta try one other thing. Okay, is that still working?
Yes, but now you kind of took your PowerPoint off its system.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Let me pull that back over. Okay.
How you would.
Okay, there you go. All right, so basically 1 year ago, just a little over a year ago, we were searching for something for our son's health. My son was born with a condition called prune belly syndrome, and he had a lot of respiratory issues that came along with that and a heart condition, and he'd been in the hospital a lot. So at that point, we had a 9, 6, 4, and 1 year old, and basically I was exhausted, so I was looking for something for myself as well. As she said, I was finishing grad school, teaching full-time, and my husband is a head baseball coach at a high school. They're pretty successful, and he puts a lot of time into it. And so he was heading into his busiest time of year. So Juice Plus kind of came along through a recommendation from our pediatrician for our oldest son. And so I put in something onto the company website. Cindy called me, and she's so funny because she always says, and she answered the phone, and now I've learned what that means, that people don't answer the phone. So I did answer the phone, and I answered the phone every time that she called. And I decided that at that point, it just made sense financially to join the company, but I wasn't really sure what that meant for me. And basically, like it says at the bottom, without completely realizing it, it started my journey of learning to do simple actions consistently. I think this was a huge growth for me in personal development as well. And so See if that'll work. There we go. So just the word intention is the thing you plan to do or achieve, or an aim or purpose. So I kind of looked that up just to kind of give us like thought about what we're looking at. An intention can be a goal. It can be something that maybe it's really far, big goal, or it could be something really small. You know, you have intention to put your phone down more often, or you have intention to reach national marketing director or some other position in another area of your life. And so I was looking about what would be some simple steps to talk about. And the first one is to be coachable. So I put a few things on here. I know it's a lot. I won't go through every step. You can kind of read over them. But as a representative, take the opportunities to learn from others. And I underlined opportunities because they will offer them to you. Cindy has offered me so many things. Loretta has as well. And then people from other places as well throughout this journey have offered opportunities to learn, to listen in, to hear constructive criticism, and just be willing to take those things in. So when they are offered, if they are something that fits into your schedule, and I know 4 kids and teaching and all those things, they didn't always fit in. And I would tell Cindy, I'm really sorry, this one doesn't fit in, but the next one I'm going to make sure it does. And so take those opportunities when they come along. I think one of the big ones was set aside time for Zoom calls. So with your upline or others that have experience, part of that's accountability and just allowing those times to just listen. And you'd be amazed at what the kinds of things you can learn in those. And then take opportunities for personal growth. So anything that you might have an area that you're trying to strengthen, or maybe it's an area that is a strength of yours and you just want to develop it a little bit more, take those opportunities as well. But then as a leader, as you start to have people that join in with you, provide opportunities for your team to meet with you or your upline, create events and excitement around events. And then my big thing is just try to meet people where they are. I think I do that a lot in the classroom and have really developed that over time. And so just ask questions and don't assume anything, and, you know, just take time to learn about them and what they would like out of the opportunity as well. And then I've had the opportunity to be in the Brave Leaders program. So if opportunities like that come along, take them. It's been a little bit of a sacrifice. Every Wednesday night we meet, and so it takes time to do those things, but it's a wonderful sacrifice. I can't, it's been something that I couldn't imagine what it would be like. And so it's been really awesome. All right, and then I put in some quotes along the way as well. So I love quotes, and I love having things that I can throw up somewhere and put it on my wall or just somewhere where I'm going to see it. So I am a student of whoever I can learn from, and I think that that is so true in all areas of our life. So just to take that opportunity to learn from others around us. All right, my second one is to build relationships. So the big thing for me is that as a species, we are built for relationship. So take the time to set intention to connect with others about anything. It doesn't need to be Juice Plus every time. It might be Juice Plus almost every time, but it doesn't need to be. It can be just life, kids, job, family, anything that's going on. And, you know, I kind of always, like, I have this conversation with my students and my kids all the time. And it's such a simple thing, but treat other people the way you want to be treated. And if somebody wants to build a relationship with me, they're going to have to take a little bit of time to talk to me. And I want to learn, you know, want them to want to learn about me, but I want to learn about them too. And so setting that intention to connect is important. One of the other things that I take to heart is that if someone comes on my mind, I think that it's a bigger picture, that there's a reason that person came to mind. And so, this has been for years. I've always thought this, that, you know, it's weird that someone that I knew 10 years ago would show up on my mind, or somebody that I hadn't thought about in forever would come to mind. And I always took that as a sign that I needed to have them on my mind at that time, like a spiritual connection. For me, I would often say a prayer, but I am intentionally sending texts or messages to them, leaving them a voicemail to let them know that I was thinking of them. And you'd be surprised how many times somebody has written back or sent something back saying, that's exactly what I needed at that moment. And so just to take that moment to actually listen, wow. I think sometimes you have to be silent and take the intention to listen to those little voices as they come. All right, so value of connection. The thread that runs through all of our human experience is that we all want to be validated. We all want to be seen. We all want to know that we matter. And the most you can ever do for somebody is to show up and allow them to know that they have been seen and heard by you. I'm reading this really cool book called The Wisdom of Sundays by Oprah Winfrey, and I would recommend it to everyone. It's just really short little quotes and things from her different interviews. And so some of these quotes you'll see come from that. All right, the third one, customer care. I've learned this all from Cindy. Cindy has been huge in helping me understand customer care because I'm not a business person at all by heart. So just ensures sustainability, provides the chance for a real business, and focuses your work for more productivity. I'm notorious for being busy but not always effective, and so this has really focused me to allow me to be productive in that busyness. And also it allows you to foster the relationship. So follow up, make the call. This is where I live in fear, making the phone call. I don't know why. I hate making phone calls to the electric company or anyone. But this has allowed me to overcome a fear a little bit, and also to realize that those relationships are best built through multiple modes of communication, not just texting or email or other ways, but also to take the opportunity to make the call. Also follow through, being consistent and willing to do what can be hard, and then just listen to the customer. So this is where my fear quote comes in. Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I'd like to see you in better living conditions. So it's so easy to sit behind fear and make excuses, and I've lived there, and I can't say that I don't always live there sometimes, but I'd like to try and work through those excuses and then move past the fear. And then accountability. So this is one where working together is so important. So be willing to be vulnerable. Pick your inner circle. My husband and I have talked about this for years, about your inner circle, and allow few people in and allow those few people to speak into you. Choose the inner circle wisely, and you don't need to listen to all the noise that's outside of the inner circle. So if you have negative people around you, a lot of times that negativity is the loudest voice. And so you have to really choose that inner circle to get that information from, the correct information from. Be willing to contribute as well, not just take from someone else, and be willing to listen to that criticism and grow from it. And it's not always, when we say constructive criticism, but it's something that I've learned too. Don't ever be defensive. Just take what it is, listen to it, and take out what is important to you and what is something that you feel like you can grow from. And then the accountability partner really helps create the increase in taking action, because you never want to go back to that accountability partner and say you didn't do what you said you were going to do. So it's really helps in that positive action. Creates opportunities to brainstorm ideas, and creates a place to debrief situations and role play through conversations that might be hard conversations. So accountability is the glue that ties commitment to the results. And I think that's the big piece. You can have a commitment to something and you can have a said result that you would like, but when you have that accountability partner, you really take the action to get there. And then we're almost here to the end. Self-care. So positive affirmations are huge for me. I do this in my classroom a lot, and I write each of my students a note at the end of the semester, just to let them know that I see them and that there's something that's of value in them that maybe they don't see for themselves or they don't believe yet. As high school students, many of them don't. I don't think we realize that what follows I am, we're inviting into our life. So the principle is to invite what you want into your life. So I am strong versus maybe I am tired, or I am talented versus saying maybe I'm not good at that thing. And so to really look at what comes after the I am and focus on those positive statements. And sure, I am tired sometimes really is true, and you can't say that that's not true, but following that up with something that allows you to understand your positive pieces to you and what really makes the core of you. So speak to your core being, allow the positive affirmations to fill your soul. So for me, and everybody has to kind of pick this for themselves, but working out is intentional time for myself physically. I do things like podcasts, and I listen to NPR radio a lot when they do the little things that kind of are like just little things I learn about other cultures or other communities or your brain or all kinds of things like that. Intentional time for myself mentally, and then goal setting allows me intentional time for myself emotionally to really set out what I want to be intentional about. And then gratitude. This one's really important, and I've learned this a ton from Cindy as well. I don't think that it wasn't in my arsenal of things that I did, but I think I've grown to really appreciate it more from Cindy. So appreciate the process. In the end, it's not me that creates success. There are actions I'm taking along the way, but this is so much more. And this process is full of moments where when I really look at what is happening, I realize it is more than me. It is bigger than me and my own individual work. For me, I want to encourage all of you to live in the moment. Allow yourself to feel the emotion that comes with each step. Sometimes it's fear to make a phone call. Other times it's joy to hear a wonderful healing blessing. Embrace the journey, set your intention, be mindful, and take action. When you acknowledge and you are grateful for whatever you have, it allows more to be drawn to you and changes the way you experience life. I think that is so huge. I've noticed just personally in the last couple of months as well. And then the last thing, in the end, goal setting can only take us so far. It's the action that creates lasting change and real results. So my last quote for you, the number one principle that rules my life is intention. Thought by thought, choice by choice, we are co-creating our lives based on the energy of our intention. The energy we put out into the world is the energy we get back. So if you want more love in your life, set your intention to be more loving. If you seek kindness, focus your energy on empathy and compassion. Conversely, if you wonder why there are so many angry people in your life, look no further than the resentment you hold in your own heart. So I hopefully am expressing to you a little bit about my journey, but also understand that so much of this comes from the people around me and what was already created in this system and the simplicity of the system. And it's just, for me, becoming more intentional in those simple actions that can take us to the goals that we want. So hopefully that was a little bit of something that each one of you could take something from.
It was awesome. Go ahead and stop your screen share so we can put
I'm trying to do that. Let me find that. Okay, there it is.